I bet many of you are familiar with a quote by Stephen Covey. We don't listen to hear, we listen to respond. More specifically, most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. Research shows that many of the conversations we have are one way, meaning that we are only listening to gain information for ourselves than to reply. How many times have you found yourself in a conversation, but instead you're distracted? Or you're thinking to yourself, how am I going to respond to this, or when can I break in and say what I want to say? We have all been there many times. In today's environment, we have many things going on and only so much time for conversations or even meetings. So how do we shift from waiting to respond to truly listening to understand? And no, it doesn't always start with a statement that is so common. I understand, or I know what you mean. The receiver is often put off by that. 2 weeks ago, I shared important transparency and vulnerabilities as the first step to developing trust. Then last week, developing relationships through authentic connections, a genuine interest in the other person. The next step in building this trust is learning how to listen to understand. A simple tip to try acknowledging and validating what was said before you respond. This is one of the easiest tools to use when you feel the urge to respond. Here is another way that helps you stop before you speak to allow the other person to be heard. It is a rule called the 43-57 rule, and it was developed by a study that was done on sales calls a couple of years ago. After reviewing thousands of calls and conversations, the outcome, it was found that those who spoke for 43% of the conversation and allowed the potential customer to talk 57% of the time had the highest conversion rates. Here's a reaction you want to generate in this step of listening to understand. The person you spoke with should think, wow, that person really gets me, instead of, I don't think what I said even mattered. In the fast-paced world in which we live in, stop, look in their eyes, and try applying the 43-57% rule. It works for me.